Most people think they know how to eat eggs. They crack one egg and call it a proper breakfast. They toss the yolk because they fear the cholesterol myth. They overcook the whites until the texture turns dry and rubbery. They follow advice from the 1980s that has been debunked. They eat eggs without understanding what the egg actually does. This is not a food problem, it is an information problem. And today, that information gap is going to close for good. You are about to learn something most nutritionists never mention publicly. The egg is not just breakfast, it is a biological signal. It communicates directly with your liver, your muscles, and your hormones, but only when you eat it in one very specific way. Most people eat eggs and get calories. Nothing more happens. They miss the hormonal cascade that changes how the body burns energy. They miss the liver signal that unlocks visceral fat as fuel. They miss the muscle signal that protects your body from aging. Today, I am issuing you a very specific one-day challenge. Eat exactly 4 eggs prepared correctly at the right time today. Not 3, 4, and I will explain exactly why shortly. If you do this correctly, something profound will shift in your body. You will trigger a liver detoxification pathway most people have never heard of. You will cross an anabolic threshold that protects your lean muscle mass. You will release a satiety hormone so powerful, cravings simply stop. You will stabilize your insulin for the next 12 full hours. This is not a diet, and it is not a supplement. This is a 24-hour experiment in metabolic engineering using real food. We are going to break this down into 4 specific variables: the quantity, the cooking method, the fat pairing, and the timing rule. Change all 4 and your body responds in a completely different way. Miss even one and you cut the effectiveness dramatically. Listen carefully. Let us start at the very beginning. What actually is an egg? Most people think of it as protein in a convenient shell, but that framing completely undersells what this object biologically is and does. An egg is a biological capsule engineered by nature to create life. It contains every single nutrient required to build a living organism from scratch. Every vitamin, every mineral, every fat, every amino acid is packed inside. There is no other single food on Earth with that profile. But there is one nutrient found only inside the yolk that matters most. This nutrient is the reason throwing away the yolk is catastrophic. This nutrient is why 1 or 2 eggs simply fall short. This nutrient is why the cooking method changes everything about the outcome. That nutrient is choline, and most people are severely deficient in it. Choline is required by your liver to process and export fat efficiently. Your liver is the organ responsible for metabolizing visceral, the dangerous belly fat. But when the liver becomes congested with its own fat, everything slows down. This condition is called hepatic steatosis, and it is shockingly common today. A congested liver cannot package and export fat efficiently to be burned. Choline solves this by synthesizing carriers called VLDL particles inside the liver. These VLDL particles load up fat and ship it out to muscles. Your muscles then burn that fat as clean, sustained fuel throughout the day. If you throw away the yolk, you eliminate the entire fat shipping mechanism. You eat the protein, but discard the instruction manual the body actually needs. This is the first reason the yolk is not optional, ever. This brings us to the first and most important variable, the quantity. Why 4 eggs? Not 3, not 2, or 1? The answer lies in a biological threshold most people have never crossed. Your muscles are in a constant state of breakdown and rebuilding every day. To trigger muscle protein synthesis, real rebuilding, you need one specific amino acid. That amino acid is called leucine, and it has a strict minimum dose. Below that dose, the body feeds the muscles but does not repair them.
You are drip-feeding the system when it needs a flood to respond. One egg contains approximately 0.6 grams of leucine, nowhere near enough. 2 eggs give you 1.2 grams, still below the activation threshold. 3 eggs give you 1.8 grams, right at the edge of the threshold. But 4 eggs give you 2.4 grams, clearly and firmly past it. 4 eggs send a loud, unambiguous signal to every muscle fiber in your body. The signal says, resources are available, we are safe. Prioritize repair over survival. When your muscles receive that signal, your metabolic rate rises to match it. Your body burns more energy at rest simply because the muscles are actively repairing. This is the hidden metabolic bonus that most people never unlock from eggs. They eat 1 or 2, feel fine, and wonder why nothing changes. The threshold is binary. Either you cross it or you completely miss it. It is like trying to ignite a fire with insufficient kindling. Nothing catches. 4 eggs cross the threshold with enough surplus to drive meaningful metabolic change. I want to share a story from someone in this community last week. She had been eating 2 eggs every morning for over 3 years consistently. She had been eating clean, exercising consistently, and sleeping well, but stalling. She switched to 4 eggs, no toast, cooked gently in butter. Within 4 days, she reported her afternoon energy completely stopped crashing after lunch. Her hunger at night dropped dramatically without her making any other dietary changes. She lost 1.4 kilograms in the first week without changing anything else at all. That is the leucine threshold, activating metabolic machinery that was dormant for years. It was not a calorie change, it was a signaling change entirely. But even 4 perfect eggs will fail if you make this cooking mistake. This brings us to variable number 2, the cooking method. This matters enormously. The single most destructive thing you can do to an egg is overcook it. When the yolk turns chalky and gray, the damage is already completely done. The lipids inside the yolk have oxidized, and oxidized lipids are inflammatory. Inflammation raises cortisol, and elevated cortisol directly promotes fat storage around the belly. So by overcooking your eggs, you are literally cooking in a fat-storing signal. The yolk must stay soft, runny, liquid, or at minimum, very soft set. Acceptable methods are sunny side up, poached, soft-boiled, or very gently scrambled low. These methods preserve the choline in its bioavailable, intact, and fully functional form. A liquid yolk means your liver can use the choline immediately upon digestion. The VLDL transport mechanism activates within hours of eating, not days, not weeks. But choline does something else beyond the liver that most people never discuss. Inside your brain, choline converts into a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. This is critical. Acetylcholine is the chemical of focus, memory, learning, and executive decision-making in the brain. When you eat 4 liquidy yolks in the morning, your brain gets flooded, not with caffeine, with raw biological fuel it uses to perform at its highest. Brain fog disappears, mental clarity sharpens, decision-making improves within the first 2 hours. And here's why that matters for fat loss specifically. Decisions drive behavior. When your brain is running on acetylcholine, you do not reach for sugar instinctively. You choose the salad instead of the sandwich, not from willpower, but from biology. The choline to acetylcholine conversion literally makes eating well easier without any extra mental effort. This is the underappreciated second benefit of the runny yolk that nobody talks about. But here's the reality check. Perfect quantity and perfect cooking are not enough.
You still need to get the fat pairing right, or you lose efficiency significantly. This brings us to variable number 3, the synergy fat pairing. Do not skip this. You must cook your 4 eggs in butter, ghee, or coconut oil only. Do not use vegetable oil, not canola, not sunflower, not corn, not soy oil.
Those oils are polyunsaturated and highly unstable at cooking temperatures. They oxidize immediately. When you cook in unstable oil, you create the exact inflammatory lipids we are avoiding. You replace a healing meal with an inflammatory one just by choosing the wrong fat. Butter and ghee are saturated fats, stable at heat, anti-inflammatory, and biologically complementary to eggs. When saturated fat enters the digestive system, it stimulates a specific gallbladder response, bile release. Bile is not optional. It is the digestive fluid required to absorb fat-soluble vitamins. The egg yolk contains vitamins A, D, E, and K in significant quantities. But without bile, you absorb almost none of them. The fat pairing is essential. You would be eating 4 eggs, but absorbing the nutrition of 1.5. The butter or ghee ensures your body actually receives the full spectrum of egg nutrition. But there is a second and even more powerful reason to add quality fat here. The combination of protein plus saturated fat triggers the release of a hormone called CCK. CCK stands for cholecystokinin. It is produced in the upper part of your intestine. When CCK is released into the bloodstream, it travels directly to the brain with one message. That message is, stop eating, you are full, you have everything you need right now. CCK also physically slows the rate at which your stomach empties its contents downward. This means the protein and fat from your 4 eggs stay with you longer. The satiety signal lasts 4 to 6 hours, sometimes longer depending on your individual metabolism. You are not fighting hunger at 11 a.m. with willpower. You are not hungry at all. The craving does not exist because CCK killed it before it had a chance to form. This is the biological secret behind why people who eat 4 eggs stop snacking entirely. They are not more disciplined, they are simply triggering a hormonal suppression of hunger automatically. This is what high-quality breakfast engineering looks like from the inside of your own body. Now we arrive at variable number 4, and this one feels like a sacrifice at first. For this one-day experiment, you must eat the 4 eggs without any bread or toast. I know, dipping toast in a runny yolk is one of life's genuine pleasures. But today we are doing science on your own body. The toast stays off the plate. Here is the biochemistry that explains exactly why bread destroys the fat-burning environment eggs create. Your body has 2 key metabolic hormones that operate like opposite ends of a seesaw. The first is insulin, the hormone of nutrient storage and energy preservation in tissues. The second is glucagon, the hormone of energy mobilization and fat release from storage. When insulin is high, glucagon is suppressed and fat burning is essentially switched completely off. When insulin is low and glucagon is elevated, fat leaves storage and enters circulation as fuel. Eating 4 eggs with butter creates a very specific and favorable hormonal ratio. Protein causes a modest and slow insulin rise, enough to shuttle amino acids into muscle cells. Fat causes almost no insulin response at all. The seesaw barely moves on one side. Glucagon rises significantly in the absence of carbohydrates, and the fat-burning door swings wide open. Add toast, and everything changes instantly. Glucose hits the bloodstream within 15 minutes of eating. Insulin spikes sharply, glucagon gets suppressed, the body immediately switches from burning fat to burning glucose. You did not ruin your eggs, you just overrode the metabolic signal they created.
The fat-burning window that the eggs opened gets shut by a single slice of bread. This is not about carbohydrates being evil. This is about timing and context and hormonal sequencing. If you need volume and something to fill the plate, add the right things instead. Add spinach. It has almost zero insulin impact and feeds the gut microbiome well. Add avocado. The monounsaturated fat in avocado amplifies the CCK response even further. Add sauerkraut. The probiotics improve gut lining integrity and reduce systemic inflammation noticeably. These additions keep the seesaw tilted toward glucagon, toward burning, not storing, all morning. Now let us address the fear that is sitting quietly in the back of your mind. 4 eggs a day, will that destroy my heart and kill me? Let us apply logic and evidence rather than outdated fear and reflex responses from decades ago. If dietary eggs caused heart disease, our ancestors who ate them daily would have perished. If 4 eggs were dangerous, every farm worker in history would have died young. The cholesterol fear came from flawed research done in the 1960s on rabbits, actual rabbits. Rabbits are herbivores. Feeding them cholesterol creates plaques because they have no mechanism to process it. Humans have a sophisticated cholesterol regulation system built directly into the liver itself. When you eat more dietary cholesterol, the liver simply produces less of its own in response. When you eat less dietary cholesterol, the liver compensates by producing more to maintain balance. The liver self-regulates. Dietary cholesterol does not automatically equal blood cholesterol in humans. Multiple large clinical studies confirm that egg consumption raises HDL, the protective beneficial cholesterol. These same studies show egg consumption improves LDL particle size, making it less atherogenic over time. The real drivers of cardiovascular risk are insulin resistance and chronic systemic inflammation, not eggs. 4 eggs is not a risk. For the vast majority of people, it is a therapeutic dose. Now let us walk through what actually happens in your body across the full 24 hours. In the morning, within 30 minutes of eating, you notice something unusual and pleasant happens. There is no glucose spike. There is no energy surge followed by an inevitable crash. There is instead a clean, stable, warm sense of energy that simply stays steady and consistent. Your brain is running on choline and fat, 2 of its most preferred fuel sources. Focus is sharper than usual. You do not reach for coffee instinctively at 9:30 in the morning. By mid-morning, around 11 or 1 o'clock, you notice that you have not thought about food. This is CCK still working. The satiety signal from the eggs is still actively suppressing hunger. Insulin has stayed low since breakfast. Glucagon has been elevated for several continuous hours already. Your body has been in gentle, sustained fat-burning mode since you finished your last egg bite. In the afternoon, around 2 or 3, most people expect the familiar energy slump to hit. It does not come. Your blood sugar never spiked, so it cannot crash. Simple physiology. You make better decisions. You choose water over soda. You skip the afternoon vending machine visit. This is the acetylcholine effect. Your brain is chemically positioned to make better choices effortlessly. By evening, your hunger is present but manageable. It is not the desperate, ravenous variety. The protein leverage effect is active. Your body received what it needed early in the day. It is not sending emergency hunger signals to compensate for morning nutritional deficits that never happened. You eat a reasonable, normal dinner rather than an emotionally driven, large compensatory meal at night.
This is how one breakfast restructures the entire eating pattern of the day, elegantly and automatically. You did not use willpower, you used biology. That is a completely different and sustainable game. Here is the exact protocol you will follow tomorrow morning. Write this down right now. Step 1. Buy the best eggs you can reasonably access and afford right now. Pasture-raised eggs have higher omega-3 content and more fat-soluble vitamins than standard commercial eggs. But standard supermarket eggs still contain everything we discussed. Use what you have available. Step 2. Heat a pan on the lowest setting your stove will allow without shutting off. Add half a tablespoon of real butter or ghee, not margarine, not spray oil, not olive oil. Step 3. Crack all 4 eggs gently into the pan, without breaking the yolks at all. Cook them completely undisturbed until the whites are just set and the yolks remain fully liquid. If you prefer poached, simmer water gently, add a splash of vinegar, and drop each egg in. If you prefer soft-boiled, 6 minutes in boiling water, then immediately into an ice bath right after. Any of these methods works. The only non-negotiable is that the yolk stays liquid and intact. Step 4. Serve on a plate with spinach, half an avocado, or a small side of sauerkraut. No bread, no toast, no crackers alongside it. Just eggs and supporting additions only. Step 5. Eat slowly and without distraction. Your gut-brain axis needs time to register satiety properly. Put your phone down, sit at a table, chew deliberately, and actually taste what you are eating. The CCK release that stops cravings is partially triggered by the mechanical act of slow, mindful chewing. Rushed eating bypasses part of the hormonal signaling chain, and you feel less full as a result. Step 6. Observe your body from that moment until you go to bed tonight with curiosity. Notice when hunger appears, or more accurately, when it fails to appear on its usual schedule. Notice your focus between 9 and noon compared to what you typically experience on most mornings. Notice your decision-making at the afternoon snack moment. Does the craving show up with usual intensity? Notice how hungry you actually are at dinner. Is it manageable, or is it overwhelming and urgent? These are the metrics that tell you whether the metabolic signal was received correctly by your body. Most people try to lose fat by eating less, by subtracting, restricting, and white-knuckling their way through hunger. This protocol is the opposite philosophy entirely. It is about strategic, targeted, high-quality addition. You are not eating less, you are eating smarter, more precisely, and more biologically aligned food. You are giving the body such a complete, high-quality nutritional signal that it stops requesting junk instinctively. You are not fighting your appetite, you are chemically restructuring it from the inside, using real food. 4 eggs is not a large amount of food. It is a precisely calibrated biological dose. It crosses the leucine threshold to protect muscle. It delivers choline to unlock the liver. It provides the fat that triggers CCK and absorbs the fat-soluble vitamins the body needs. It keeps insulin stable, glucagon elevated, and the fat-burning window open for the entire morning. This single meal, done correctly for one single day, will show you what your body is actually capable of. Not with a supplement, not with a drug, with 4 eggs, cooked gently on a quiet morning. Try it tomorrow. Eat 4 eggs the right way, at the right time, with the right pairing. Pay attention to your hunger. Pay attention to your energy. Pay attention to your afternoon decisions carefully. If you can fix your breakfast, you fix your metabolism. Unlock the liver, hit the threshold, silence the cravings. Most people react to food impulsively and unconsciously. You now have the knowledge to use it strategically. Use it.